heart and cancer. And yeah, we know that this money goes for good work. We're sending the money hopefully to Madison, UW-Madison, to Gunderson Clinic, and to Mayo Clinic up in La Crosse. But it sometimes gets to be a little personal, you know, and this year, several things started to happen earlier this fall to us personally. And first of all, my sister Sue was diagnosed with cancer, and she is going through treatments, and she lives down in the villages in Florida. She's going through treatments right now. She had kind of a tough week last week, but I know hopefully if she can figure out how to operate her computer, she's got that thing on. And Sue, love you, taking care. And then another dear friend of mine and a dear friend of the Telethon ended up having breast cancer diagnosed in October. And I just talked to Tony Rangel a little while ago, and it's Sue Rangel. And she was on her way home from work. She just finished up her last chemotherapy and is going to be scheduling her surgery towards the end of February. You know, and also the Eagles Club came along and ran a special benefit for Laura Parker. And I thought, well, you know, Tom Nelson, you planted a lot of trees in the city of Prairie du Chien. I thought maybe I should plant a tree for the Eagles Club, and we've got that tree right here. And it's called a tree of hope, because when these people are diagnosed with these illnesses, you know, it scares you. And as you move forward into this whole thing, you've got to have some hope. And I felt that we, members of this committee, needed to have some hope that what we're doing really works. And then in October, we got a phone call from Kathy's family. Little Charlie Teal was born this last July, and and some unique things started to happen. He was diagnosed with heart disease. Shelby Teal, Charlie's mother, wrote us a story. Dan, I would like you to kind of paraphrase a little bit about Charlie's story. Would you please?
All right. And this is a story that Tom had given to me a couple of days ago. It's a letter from Charlie's mother, and it's very long and it's very detailed, and we're going to do our best to paraphrase it here. But it tells a story of a young boy and a family, and why heart and cancer research is so important, and how it can impact a life, and especially a life that touches Tom and your family very, very closely. This is part of Charlie's story here. Back in early October, after some abnormal fussiness, what they thought was an ear infection for their infant, they took him in. After some tests, they discovered he had a heart murmur, and then he was referred to the Minneapolis Children's Heart Clinic in Minnesota. Later on that month, their world completely changed. That's when they heard the dreaded words that no parent wants to hear. Your son has a serious heart defect. He was diagnosed with mitral valve stenosis, mitral regurgitation, and as a result, pulmonary hypertension. They hooked him up to IVs, heart rate monitors, oxygen monitors. The family didn't sleep that night. The next days were filled with tests, x-rays, blood draws, and many other things in medical language that frankly they could have never imagined hearing in their lifetime. A week later, Charlie went under his first heart surgery. At the end of October, he was discharged, and the first couple of weeks after the heart surgery were great. But about 3 weeks later, began a downhill slide for him. They went back into the hospital. A new echocardiogram discovered that the repair that was done in the first surgery was not holding. After only 12 hours of being admitted, Charlie's lungs were filled with fluid, and he was crashing quickly. He would need to be intubated that night, or he wouldn't make it through the night. They spent the Thanksgiving in the hospital and waited for him to gain strength for a second surgery. Then on November 30th, he had his second open heart surgery, not ideal for an infant. He would need to have an artificial valve put in this surgery. He was discharged finally in the middle of December. Then in early January, earlier this month, he developed a nasty cough, bronchitis, became the croup, and became pneumonia. Went back to the hospital. They found that his hemoglobin was shockingly low. In the middle of January, just a couple of weeks ago, they discovered that his hemoglobin had again dropped, this time to the lowest level that it had ever been. Now they were going back to the Children's Hospital in Minneapolis. When they were there, they determined that the sole reason for his problems this time around was that the heart was leaking on the side of the valve. The leak would need to be fixed, and that would require a third surgery. During this time, the family consulted with doctors and surgeons from throughout the country to find the best approach. Then on January 26th, this is just a couple of days ago, he was taken to the hospital and had his third open heart surgery. That surgery happened on January 27th, 3 days ago. About 7 hours later, he came back from that surgery. January 28th, just 2 days ago, the latest report is that Charlie is stable. He continues to recover from his surgery. In this letter that they provided for us, they said that they're able to take their son home, and hopefully he can stay home for a long time. Now, given the condition, it'll be another 2 or 7 years, and he'll need to have another surgery just to do maintenance on the valve that was put into his heart. Their hope is by the time he needs a new heart, or a new valve on that heart, that there'll be advancements in technology to make it last longer and require less medications. She says, while she walks the hospital halls this time, like every time, she's reminded of the beauties of technology and research that have made it all possible for these children and others who have been affected by heart and cancer to be here today. She sincerely thanks everyone for giving and participating in this heart and cancer telethon and heart and cancer research and giving people like her son a chance. So, Tom, this is a very heart-touching story, and part of our tree of hope here is part of the telethon this evening.
Exactly, and we're starting out with 4 names on this tree, and I'm going to take this check over to Bob and Pete, and this is in honor of those people that have their names on it. Laura Parker, Sue Rangel, Sue Bartell, and little Charlie Tito. And by the way, I've got to wave at his great uncle, Chuck Tito, out in Las Vegas. How you doing there, Chuck and Reverend? Love you guys. This is this tree of hope, so we're gonna. And if you want to leave, okay, was that what you?
That was my question, Tom. We're going to get to that. If somebody wants to add a leaf to our tree of hope, how can they do that?
Real simple. Just get on the phone, call up, and tell them where instead of memory up, you want to buy a leaf, and we'll take that over here to this table. We got leaves already cut out. Kathy's gonna fill out the names. We'll just kind of come in here and put them on top of them. We hope to fill up this tree. We're going to take this tree down to the Eagles Club at the end of the night. I know we have about 6 or 7 names that we're going to add on here in the next few minutes, but I want to start out with these 4.
All right. Tom Nelson, thank you very much. Great story.